Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fitness Education Series produced by the Australian Fitness Academy. It's like progressive overload for your brain. I'm your host, Tom Rock, and today's episode, I'm just going to touch on group training. I think it's a really interesting topic. Group training, we're going to look at the pros and cons, I guess, of group training, group exercise, or group fitness. It's a popular mode of exercise, and I think as a personal trainer in the fitness industry or a group trainer, or if you're currently doing your Cert 3 and 4, it's good to understand what is out there with group training. Make sure you try some classes of group training, see what it's like, experience it for yourself, and that way you're um, better experienced, better educated to answer questions from clients about should I do group training or even prescribe group training to individuals potentially. Or if you're running a business or a gym, should you advertise or should you run group training for your clients? And to think about, I guess, what it is we should educate our clients about when it comes to group training. But I think we'll start with the pros of group training. I think the first one is it's great for improving general fitness. So um, anyone who comes to the gym wants to sort of improve their health and their fitness, group training is a great place to start, I think, because it will have generally some cardiovascular aspect, because usually it's sort of a not high intensity, but it's a relatively, it'll get your heart rate up style training, but also will have some, whether it's body weight exercise or light resistance included as well. So you'll get enough stimulus to sort of maintain or maybe slightly build some muscle for some beginners, but you also get that cardiovascular exercise in as well. So in terms of getting your general exercise, group training can be really good for that. So general fitness, really good. Build some basic strength or coordination, I would say, and stability, and then you also get your cardio stuff in. Think of like your F45 stuff, which sort of incorporates everything into one session. There's also a lot of variety with group training. Lots of different structured sessions. You got like your body pump or body balance and things like that. All the Les Mills style things which you can get at Good Lifes and stuff like that. A really good idea is to try some of those out and see the differences. But lots of good variety, so clients can keep it interesting and just make sure they're not getting bored with their training. So very easy to add variety with group training. I think the social aspect is a big one of group training. It allows you to meet new people, exercise with friends, and it can be a motivating sort of thing too as well. So training with other people, exercising with other people, it can also assist in making sure it's not boring or it's more social and get you up and about. So it allows you to train with other people, friends as well, is a really good aspect. And it's also cheaper than, say, personal training. Rather than doing a one-on-one or two-on-one PT session, group training generally spreads across the cost across the group. So you're generally paying less per session as a customer. So that can be a really good pro, I guess, of group training. So group training definitely has a need, I think, and it can be good to hit a lot of different markets. And there's so much out there, especially these days with things like CrossFit. While it's probably a lot different to the general sort of group training body weight stuff that you get, there's definitely a crossover between group training with body weight exercises and things like that versus CrossFit, where you might do it as a group, but it's more of a structured sort of strength workout. And then you've got like mat Pilates and Pilates, which is still a group workout, but it's a different focus group workout. So while group workouts most of the time is sort of fairly general, you can sort of see these more specific goal orientated or fitness outcome orientated group exercise classes as well. Which sort of leads me to the con. So and again, there's lots of good things, and I'm not sort of going one way or the other, but we'll sort of discuss at the end. But group exercises aren't generally individualized. So if you're going into a group session, um, it's it's not going to be specifically tailored to you. Most of the time, the fitness instructor will do their best to adjust or progress or regress exercise where they can, based on your needs, but the program's not going to be specifically designed for you. So in terms of capabilities and fitness levels, it's not going to be super specific, and it'll be generally it's up to you to whether it's change the exercises or let the instructor know that, oh, I can't do this if you're working around injuries, or reduce mobility, reduce fitness levels. It can be a tough environment to say jump into if you're not very experienced, because there's other people around. The fitness instructors don't generally have a lot of time to work one-on-one to teach you things. So that's probably one of the areas that it can be tough situations in a group environment, is generally you can't individualize it to the capabilities of an individual. You can, as an instructor, you can definitely do that to some extent, but it's limited in your capability to do that. I think specific goals are hard to work towards with group training. Again, like I said before, things like CrossFit or Pilates, there's different group environments that may suit specific goals. So you might find one that works towards your specific outcome. But if you've got a sort of a more specific goal, such as strength or hypertrophy, or even aerobic fitness, where you solely like want to train for like a triathlon or a 10K fun run, group exercise is going to be limited into your ability, because they're not going to tailor a program specifically for you. It's going to be more of a general exercise and may not work you towards the specific goal as quickly or as efficiently as possible. So that's something to keep in mind. And generally with most group training, I would say, not all, but you're limited in the resistance that you're able to. I guess if we're looking to build muscle or build muscle mass or increase muscle mass, group training can be hard to do that with. Again, things like CrossFit probably are a bit better towards that, because you will find you're lifting heavy barbells and things like that, which will allow you to put on muscle. But if you're doing like the Les Mills style classes in gyms, you're generally restricted to sort of very light weights for high reps, or body weight stuff. And you might find that clients will sort of, once they get used to it, plateau. You can't just keep adding weights or adding reps potentially, because you just sort of run out of time. So you're not going to be able to sort of put 30, 40, 50 kilos on a barbell. You're going to be stuck to body weights and adjusting these exercises, which is absolutely fine. But if you have a specific sort of strength orientated or even hypertrophy orientated goal, group training might not be specific for that. So there's lots of reasons to consider group training. I don't think it's necessarily one or the other either. I think group training can work around other programs. So if say your goal is hypertrophy, you can still train probably 2 to 3 times per week, full body, for example, hypertrophy, resistance training, but then just do 1 to 2 group fitness classes on the side, which you might enjoy for the sort of high intensity nature, get your cardio in. You obviously have to account for recovery and things like that, and your programming in between sessions. But yeah, it's not one or the other, but I think it's important to consider the pros and cons of group classes. If you are running a group class as a fitness instructor, it's a great way to sort of meet clients, talk to individuals, find out what their goals are, and sort of get to know the members of the gym, I guess. But yeah, if you're a gym owner and running group classes, you want to make sure you're advertising or knowing that the reasons why group classes are good, but some of the trade-offs, and I think it's good to sort of talk about them too, because if a client has been doing group training and now they've suddenly sort of working towards a more specific goal, they probably need to understand how what they're doing in the gym is going to impact that, and will it help them move towards their goal? What would a more specific program potentially look like? But I think group training is a really interesting space. I think there's lots and lots of group trainings out there, like BFT and F45 sort of have their different group styles, which is different to the sort of the CrossFit style as well. So, and then you've got your Les Mills styles on top of that. So group training is a sort of an all-encompassing banner, but you can look at different little sections within that, and there's different groups that are tailored to different things. But I think it's an interesting discussion about group training. It's big out there in the industry, and something you, as a fitness instructor, at some point you're definitely going to have to instruct a group, and it's generally a lot of fun. But there's lots of different styles out there. Some people take groups, training in like a CrossFit gym, and you can basically run a resistance session, a normal resistance session with a large group. But that's not always possible. But at some point, you will have to probably, if you're in the fitness industry, take some group classes. But it is a really fun environment. But you have to sort of work out, well, how's programming work in terms of group compared to individual programming? Because group's going to have to change a little bit. It's hard to be super specific with your group training, because if a client comes in and they can't do a movement, do an exercise, you generally don't have a lot of time to adjust equipment or adjust the exercise for each individual, because you just don't have the time. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that, guys. Have you ever taken group classes? Have you ever participated in it? What was it like? What were your takeaways? What did you find was a good parts of group training? What negatives can you see, or could you think might be better handled by a fitness instructor? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Send an email to tom@afa.com.au. Or if you have any other questions or topics you'd like me to cover on the podcast, send an email as well. Definitely happy to cover any thoughts or questions that you guys have. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon.